All right, so today in class, or in class right now, we're going to talk about what we call compound polygons. And synonym for compound, sometimes you may hear us throw out the word composite. They're just synonyms for each other, but basically when we're dealing with compound polygons, we're going to be dealing with some shapes that are made up of more than one possible polygon. All right, and the expectation is that we can still calculate the area of these even though they're made up of more than one polygon. Okay, so that's the goal. Compound means more than one. Okay, more than one, and our goal here is we still want to be able to find the area. All right, names aren't necessarily important for these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an 8-sided polygon, so technically this is an octagon. The goal here, though, is can we still find the area of it? And the trick to dealing with composite shapes is to be able to divide and conquer. All right, that's the approach we want to have. Divide and conquer. Okay, which basically means break it up into the small shapes that it is and find the areas for both. So again, this first one right here, our octagon, you may be looking at that and saying, okay, that is nothing more than 2 rectangles put together. And that's a great approach. All right, and so what our goal should be to find the area for the whole thing is to find each of the little pieces. Okay, so this big rectangle, all right, we can see here that that is a 10 by 5. All right, so we're going to have a 10 by 5 for one part of it, and we are going to add to it the second part of that. The second part of it is the little one here. Now we know this side is 3. This vertical dimension we do not have, so we have to see if we can determine what that is. And based on the information we're given, okay, we can see over here from top to bottom that it needs to make 10. So that means that these 3 vertical sides, if we put those 3 vertical sides together, they should also match 10. 3 plus 4 is 7. So that means we need another 3. Okay. And again, I apologize. That might be a little small for you, but that is another 3 here. All right. Again, yes, it's not drawn to scale. All right. That should be a square. It doesn't look like a square. That's okay. We're not worried about that kind of stuff. The dimensions tell us that it is a 3 by 3. So then to simply find the area for that polygon, we need to find both answers. And we get a final area of 59 square units, whatever those might be. All right, so divide and conquer, that's going to be our strategy here today. Okay, this next shape, don't know if you can come up with a name for it. Again, we want to be able to come up with the area. We've got an arc here. As soon as we see an arc, we should be thinking circles, and if we're thinking circles, then that means we're gonna need to use pi. All right, don't forget pi is 3.14. Okay, somewhere, somehow, pi has got to come into play because of that arc right there. Okay, now, if you want to describe this, I mean, obviously the one up above, we could tell that's 2 rectangles. Okay, this one, we could probably split that up and say we got a square and a quarter circle. All right, so that's what we should be solving. We should be finding the area for the square, and we should be finding the area for the quarter circle. All right, so the square, again, that's nothing more than a rectangle, so that is 8 by 8. Okay, that is 8 by 8. So for the square, we can do 8 by 8. And now we got to do a quarter of a circle. So if you remember, for a circle, all right, it's pi times r squared. pi times r squared. All right, so 8 times, so a quarter times 3.14. Now we need to come over here and we need to come up with our radius for the following shape, I should say. And the radius is going to be the distance from here to the edge. Now we can go this way or we can go this way. Remember, those are the same. Either case, our radius is going to be 8, because 8 plus 8 makes 16. So we can throw in 8 squared. Square is pretty simple. 8 by 8 is 64. Now we got to do 1/4. So again, break out the calculators. 1/4 times 3.14 times 8 to the second power. All right, however you want to type it in there. And we get 50.24. So our final area is going to be 114.24 square units. All right, yes, when you are dealing with circles, you're going to get a decimal regardless. Okay, regardless. All right, last one. We'll do one more real quick just to make sure we cover all the basics. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a heptagon if you need a name. More appropriately, though, for our purposes, this is a triangle plus a rectangle. All right, triangle plus a rectangle. So our rectangle, 15 by 4, not a big deal. All right, now we got to get the triangle. Remember, your triangle formula is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 base is this dimension right here. Okay, we're not given all that. We know 4, and we know that that makes it 4. Symmetry makes that one 4. So 4, 4, 4. So our base is 12. Now, we need to get our height. Remember, our height has to be straight up and down. Cannot use the slant for the height. So we need to know that distance. And the only thing we know is that from very bottom to very top, it's 20. We know that the rectangle covers 15 of that. So 20 minus the 15 leaves 5. So that means our triangle must be 5 units tall. So we'll multiply by 5. 15 times 4 is 60. 1/2 times 12 leaves 6 times 5, so that's 30 plus 60. So we get a final answer of 90 square units. Do the best you can on your paper today, and we will spend a couple days on this. Have a good night.